Okay, so I'm back here at the engine. I have the new fuel water separator right here, and I'm going to mount it. Going to mount it right here to the actual boat. There's really only one like sturdy place where I could put this, so that's what I'm going to shoot for. Hopefully it works out to be a good spot. It'll be right in the middle here. So we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes to mount this. Okay, there's my carb. The carb's all cleaned up, and my new fuel filter right there from Quicksilver. Spark plugs. I have the inline fuel filter water separator. This is above the water line right here, so I will be able to put a cup under there and drain it. As you can see, where the water line is on the boat, that's about 6 inches higher than that, so it won't be in the water, or I won't be draining it into the water. You know, I care about the environment just as much as anybody else. So, but it'll still be above the water line. This is going to go in here, come out, and then feed into the engine. What I'm going to do right now is go ahead and change that fuel filter, and then I will be remounting the carburetors and hooking that all up, and then I'll get back to this. I want to have this all together before I get into actually splicing the fuel line. Alright, I have the carbs back on. Literally all it takes to get these off is you got to remove this air box, which is one large screw that would mount right there to the top, and then 2, 4, 6 bolts. You got to disconnect this little I guess it's a vacuum line, I'm not sure, this little vacuum line, and then on this side of the engine you got to disconnect it at the fuel pump right there. There's that new filter. I have to move this little line out of the way, it's kind of kinked in there. I don't know if you see that right there, it's kinked in, but I got to remove that, or make some room around there for the new filter, and I have to hook up from the carburetor right there. There's this little rod that goes to that controls the amount of two-stroke oil that goes into this. So it's extremely important to have it hooked up. So I got to work on that. I got to hook that up. Other than that, the carbs are back on. All right, I have the oil, the connection to the oil line hooked up, and what I noticed while I was hooking this up is right now it's in the idle position. So this thing will focus. This is all the way down, and when it was off, it was all the way up. So I believe that that this is set up to fail to the full rich position. So if you leave this line off, it's going to get more oil than it ever should at idle, and then at full speed it will be the correct amount. Now the way to test this, I suppose, is to, okay, I'm going to turn the throttle up, and that moves up. So it's a fail-safe to basically keep it from getting messed up. It will fail to full oil. So if you forget to hook it up and it's running super rich, or if it's running super rich, you know why now. You probably forgot to hook that up. Okay, so I split the fuel hose and hooked it up here, and I got gas going to it, and there is already, I don't know if you can see that, there's already a separation of water and gasoline. So I'm really glad I got this, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep water from getting into the carb. I'm going to give it my best shot and we'll see what happens, but I'm worried about it still. But I am going to run it like it is, and hopefully I can go through this tank of fuel and just keep an eye on this. Once it gets low, take that tank out, clean it out real well, and then reinstall it. But for now, I'm done with the fuel and carburetor work, I hope. I'm going to test the compression and then fire it up. Okay, another day. I'm back to the pontoon boat. I tested the top cylinder, 120 psi. Cylinder number 2, I don't know, 110, 115, still pretty good. Get the next one here in a second. Alright, hooked up to the third one, 0 psi right now. I haven't spun it over yet. And just about 120, so I got good compression on this motor. It's a sturdy, well, it's got good compression. So now I just got to get it running. That's gonna be the next step. I'm gonna put new plugs in here because I got those new plugs I showed you earlier. New plugs. I'm gonna hook up the ears for the or the water ear things to put water to it, and I'm gonna see if I can get it started. Okay, got the water to it. I'm gonna put this into a high idle, choke it. Doesn't sound like it's running on all the cylinders, but might need to adjust the idle. Okay, so I dropped the back end in the water. Hold on, Roo. I got it in gear. I'm just letting it run for a little while, make sure all is good before we get in the water. But it's so far seems to be doing pretty well. It's at 2,000 RPMs. I don't want to, gas it on a trailer or anything crazy, but so far so good. Okay, so shortly after I had it running, at the marina it quit under load, and that little fuel ball over there was completely collapsed. So I felt like there was a problem back to this side, so I came back here to the tank. I think that's where the water's coming in, because this is a low spot on the fuel tank, as you can see, and the gasket's all beat up. So I'm gonna fix that, but first I want to get this thing running. And there's a 90-degree that comes out of here, and this goes into, and there is a check valve in here. It's a one-way check valve, and it's meant to allow fuel to go out but not come back in. And something's wrong with it. I don't know what exactly, but I can barely blow through it. And then if I put a suction on this end, it takes a ton of suction to get it to actually open. So there's an issue there. So I'm maybe gonna order another one of these. I don't know. Right now I'm probably just gonna cut that, or drill that out, or tap it out. Probably tap it out back this way, because I think that little ring is in there is what holds it. So it'll just be a free flow. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. And if that doesn't end up working, then I can always buy a new one of these and put it on in a couple minutes. Took a punch and drove that out a little bit, and now it is operating correctly. It's free to let gas or liquid air, whatever, out this way towards the camera, and it actually stops it when it goes back in. So I'm gonna put it back in like that now that it's got some room. Like I said, you could see where it was before and where it is now. If this camera would focus. Anyways, I think that's gonna be a good fix. We're gonna go try it. Here's what the whole thing looks like assembled. Prior to going into the tank, there's a little filter on the bottom, so you know, if you're having issues like I had with the ball collapsing, if it's not that check valve, it could be stuff on that filter there. And this just drops down in there and screws in. All right, time for test and tune again. Back at it again, maybe 30 seconds into it. I'm gonna let it run for a little while, see if I can't get it to do the same thing again. Shut off. As you can see, the bowl is still full. What's up, man? Okay, I just got out past the no wake area, and I'm only going 3,000 RPMs, but it's raining, of course, you know. Time for me to mess with the boat. It should probably rain all over me, so let's see what she'll do. This is probably about par for the course. I mean, fast as it should be going. So I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.